Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to edit an image that you bring in to Captivate or a piece of artwork like from Illustrator, and how you can send it back to Illustrator or Photoshop, make a change, and it will update back here in Captivate. I'm going to bring in an image right now. So I'm going to go under my media button here. I'm going to come down to image. First thing I'm going to show you here is if I hover over the image menu, you see the tooltip comes up, and I'm working on a Mac, so it says Shift Command M, as in image. So Shift Command M is the keyboard shortcut to bring in an image. Now you'll notice that most things in Captivate are going to have a tooltip associated with it. So this might be something you write down on your Post-it note, put it on your machine so you constantly kind of remind you can bring in images by doing Shift Control M or Shift Command M. Let's bring in an image here. I'm going to come back over to my Icon Logic materials here. And this is a great book. Here's Captivate 2019 Beyond Data. And I'm going to go into images. And let's say we bring in this apple. So here's a great looking apple here. Maybe I want to change the color of it. Maybe I want to remove the stem or something like that. So when I'm in here, I can right click on this image. And what I'm going to do is I want to find it in the library. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to highlight it here in the library. Now this is how I'm going to get it back into Photoshop. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say edit with. Now I know you see it says Photoshop automatically here. That's because I have already told Captivate to open JPEG images like this with Photoshop. So let me show you how you have to do it the first time. I'm going to say edit with. I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to try to find my applications folder. So let me go to my hard drive and I'll go to my applications and I'm going to view by a list and I'm going to go to Adobe Photoshop 2020, open up that folder. Here's the application. Now on Windows it might say EXE, but this is the app. I'm going to double click. What that does, that assigns these type of images to be opened up in Photoshop, so it automatically opens it up here. Now let me reset my workspace back to, let's say, Essentials and Workspace and Reset. So over here I have this apple. I'm going to zoom up on that by Control plus or Command plus on Windows. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on this layer. Now I'm going to access what are called adjustments. So I'm going to go up here to adjustments. And in this second row here, there's one called Hue, Saturation. So what I can do with this is I can drag this hue bar and change this into a red delicious apple. How's that look? Pretty doggone good, doesn't it? Now I'll give you a little side trip, a little bonus here. We'll do some Photoshop things one of these days. Down here in the layers panel is the hue saturation adjustment layer. It has this little thing on here called a mask. A white mask lets all of this effect of hue saturation affect everything on this apple. But if I click on this mask and I get a paintbrush and I make sure it's on black, I can make the paintbrush smaller by hitting the left or right bracket keys. And I can paint on this mask with black. And what it's doing, it's blocking that hue change in those areas where I paint black. So watch this. See, wherever I drag the paintbrush and paint with black on this mask on the right, it's going to block the hue change. If I come over here and switch my colors by clicking on the flipper arrow to white, I can then say, no, I want to use or show that adjustment on here. So I can paint with white, which allows that adjustment layer effect to come through. There we go. Okay, I've made some changes to that. One thing I might want to do is come over here and right click on this layer and say merge down. And that applies that effect to that apple permanently. Now, let's go up to Photoshop and let's quit. Let's save changes. Notice back in Captivate, it's now a red delicious apple. There we go. And over here in the library, it's updated to a red delicious apple. If you ever want to make an adjustment in a graphic or a Photoshop file or an Illustrator file, you find the file, you right click on it, find the image in the library if you don't know where it's at, and then right click and say open in Photoshop. If this was an Illustrator file, then say edit with Illustrator. Make the changes, save them, and come back, and this will be updated.